Welcome back. Breaking updates coming in. The Supreme Court appointed SIT probing the affairs of Vantara has given a clean chit to the Zoological Rescue and Rehabilitation Centre in Gujarat's Jamnagar. A bench of Justices Pankaj Mittal and PB Varale took the report on record and noted that authorities have expressed satisfaction on the issue of compliance and regulatory measures in Vantara. Relief for Vantara, which is a wildlife initiative spearheaded by Anant Ambani, the Supreme Court appointed SIT probing the affairs of Vantara has now given a clean chit to the centre. The report has found that the issue of compliance and regulatory measures are in place in Vantara. Remember, recently there had been a controversy over an elephant that was revered by the public and a certain community being taken to Vantara for rehabilitation. And after disappointment or dissatisfaction by the public and a certain section of the community, the elephant was transferred back to the local community. Although that transfer was also because of a court order, but now that issue has been settled and issue of any compliance and regulatory measures within Vantara have also been settled. My colleague Anant Ambani is joining us with more on this. Ananya, what does this mean? Is this the end of the entire episode concerning Vantara?
Well, absolutely. It's in fact a clean sheet being given to Vantara as far as, the shifting of those animals were concerned. And clearly, the Supreme Court going on to give a clean sheet saying that the SIT probing the affairs of the Vantara has given a clean sheet to the Zoological Rescue and Rehabilitation Centre in Gujarat's Jamnagar. This was a bench, remember, of Justice Pankaj Mittal and J.B. Varale, who took the report on record and noted that the authorities have expressed satisfaction as far as things are concerned.
It is in fact something that the Supreme Court has gone on to say that the authorities are satisfied. The SIT also seems to be very satisfied as far as the affairs at in fact this animal rehabilitation center in Gujarat's Jamnagar is concerned. A big win for in fact Vantara, a clean sheet being given out by in fact the Supreme Court as far as the affairs are concerned. In fact, the Supreme Court also going on to say that the taking of that elephant from, in fact, the temple to the Vantara Rehabilitation Center is something that is correct. And, in fact, proper procedures would be followed as far as taking over that animal per se is concerned. So, very clearly a big win coming in and a clean sheet, in fact, coming in for Vantara from the topmost court of the country. A bench headed by Justice Pankaj Mittal and J.B. Varale are concerned.
Okay. There was a recent controversy as far as the moving of a temple elephant is concerned. That temple elephant was indeed released back to the local community after, there was dissatisfaction on ground. And, there have been certain voices that raised questions over the entire compliance or the issue of how animals are brought into the wildlife park. Tell us more of what the Supreme Court has found or Supreme Court-led panel has found as far as this report is concerned, Ananya.
Well, as far as this report is concerned, the Supreme Court view, if I read out what the Supreme Court gone on to say, is that there is nothing wrong with the transfer of the temple elephant to Vantara. The Supreme Court has asked the Vantara and the government to follow recommendations of the committee. Says nothing wrong if Vantara takes over the elephant from the Forest Department as long as procedures are followed, is what in fact the Supreme Court has gone on to say in fact its order as far as today's hearing in this particular matter is concerned. Shivani.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Anant Ambani, thanks a lot for joining us. But